Man, this is tough. In this fall, I'm gonna be taking my talents to Hennessy.
He should know or should have known that this was gonna happen.
Got a couple calls. It's like, what is this? We just have so much to talk about in this video. I mean, LeBron James is out 3 to 4 weeks with sciatica. And instead of the Lakers rallying around their injured superstar, instead of the typical "we got this" attitude, we're hearing something absolutely wild from Dave McMenamin. LeBron is reportedly going to be monitoring the Lakers situation while he's out. LeBron James, the guy who's making over $50 million this season, is going to sit on the sideline and watch to see if this team is competitive enough without him. And if they're not, well, apparently that could lead to the next step. But that's not even the craziest part of this story. Before LeBron went down with this injury, he starred in the infamous Decision 2.0.
In this fall, man, this is tough. In this fall, I'm gonna be taking my talents to Hennessy.
The result of what would occur is a fan that's now threatening to sue him. Yeah, you heard that right. A lawsuit over a cognac commercial. And to top it all off, DeAndre Ayton just dropped a quote that should have Lakers fans questioning everything about how this roster was constructed. So this is the LeBron James news cycle. And honestly, it might be the most chaotic start to a Lakers season that we've seen in years. So buckle up because we need to talk about all of it. The Hennessy lawsuit has JJ Redick, Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura cracking up. The sciatica injury that's going to sideline LeBron James throughout at least early November, Luca's reaction to losing his co-star, and of course, why this entire situation proves that the Los Angeles Lakers made a massive mistake by not forcing LeBron James to take a pay cut this summer. What, you thought I was gonna go a whole video without mentioning that at least once? So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to get the latest NBA news. And now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. If you took my Monday Night Football play in my last video, then congratulations on 3.5xing your money. And now PrizePicks gave us a free square to celebrate the new NBA season. Steph Curry just needs 1 point for his square to hit, and I have a play for you to take advantage of this. First, download PrizePicks and use my promo code microphone to get $50 when you make a play of $5 or more when you sign up for PrizePicks. And for opening night of the NBA season, I have Steph Curry making less than 4.5 threes, Alperen Şengün getting more than 10 rebounds, and Luca getting more than 48.5 points, rebounds, and assists, which should be easy because the last time he came off of a summer where he played European basketball, he went way over this. I have additional plays on my IG page, and my Discord server has been profiting each and every single day, and you can check that out in the WAP link in the description down below. And thank you, PrizePicks, for sponsoring today's video. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? So first, let's address the elephant in the room that nobody saw coming. LeBron James might be getting sued over a Hennessy commercial. Now, when I first heard this, I thought it was a joke. How do you get sued for a commercial over cognac? But apparently it's real, and the reactions from around the Lakers organization have been absolutely priceless. The ad itself is pretty standard LeBron fare. It's smooth, sophisticated, talking about legacy and excellence while holding a bottle of Hennessy. But it was the way that was packaged and what went down behind the scenes that is causing fans to be upset. LeBron prefaced this as the Decision 2.0, kind of teasing his retirement because, come on, how much does LeBron like talking about his own retirement?
The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. But I don't know.
So when he announced on his Instagram page that this was the Decision 2.0, fans were wondering, oh my god, the first decision was without a doubt one of the most iconic moments in LeBron's career, when he sits down and explains where his future is going to be, before inevitably saying,
in this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
So if you're going to go out and say that something is the Decision 2.0, people are going to be speculating about whether or not you're going to retire. Now, as a result of this, tickets for LeBron James's final game started to skyrocket. Fans were buying up tickets for his final game versus the Utah Jazz. Nosebleeds were going for $800. Floor seats were going for $3,000. And I'm going to admit, I did have a lengthy discussion with my team about what we should do in case LeBron James does actually decide to retire that day before we all unanimously decided that this was probably going to be an advertisement. And thankfully we got that right. Now here's what the plaintiff is saying about the lawsuit.
A lot of this case is about principle to me. It's not so much about the money, to tell you the truth. I mean, I seen it on social media, and right away I seen that as an opportunity that I didn't want to miss out on. He should know, or should have known, that this was going to happen.
JJ Redick, who's now coaching this circus, couldn't stop laughing about this.
You guys are idiots.
Austin Reeves had a similar reaction.
I just got a couple calls. It's like, what is this?
And Rui Hachimura, he could only shake his head.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of texts, but I text him too.
You texted LeBron?
Yeah,
Just to make sure?
Yeah, but he's using those weird emoji. I don't even know what that means. But, I didn't understand it, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. He'll have to do those kind of stuff. So, surprises, right?
Yeah.
Rui,
The whole situation is absurd, but it's also kind of perfect for where the Lakers are right now. This is a franchise that's been defined by drama for the last several years. The Russell Westbrook experiment that failed spectacularly. The coaching carousel that saw Frank Vogel fired after winning a championship. Darvin Ham brought in and then shown the door after 2 seasons. Anthony Davis being traded in the middle of the season for Luca Donāić, and LeBron James not approving of it once the season ended.
No comment. I'll never say that because my guy AD said what he needed, and then he was gone the following week. So
A frivolous lawsuit over a cognac commercial, that's just Tuesday for the Lakers at this point. But here's the thing, while everyone's laughing about the Hennessy situation, there are real problems brewing in LA that aren't funny at all. Before we get to LeBron James's injury, we need to talk about what DeAndre Ayton said recently, because it's a quote that should have alarm bells ringing through the Lakers organization. DeAndre Ayton, who without a doubt is the Lakers' prized acquisition in an offseason where I didn't think they were going to be able to do very much. This was a move that was going to finally give them a legitimate center, and he was asked about practicing with his new star teammates, and his response?
I haven't. So something I've just been waiting on. Just got to prepare. JJ and the coaching staff probably have some good stuff together for all of us to really build chemistry.
Let that sink in for a second. The Lakers made a significant move to bring in DeAndre Ayton, a former #1 overall pick who's supposed to be entering his prime at 27 years old. And here we are right before the regular season tips off, and he hasn't even practiced with the 2 guys who are supposed to be leading this team into contention. Now, some of this is due to LeBron's injury, but if you remember when DeAndre Ayton was originally signed, Luca Donāić texted him a welcome, but LeBron James didn't welcome DeAndre Ayton to the team at all.
have you spoken to LeBron? Have you spoken to Luca?
Not really yet, but I've definitely got a text from Luca. I know how the offseason go. People are probably busy and, training and having times with their families.
So what's going on here? Is this a rotation thing? Is JJ Redick still figuring out his lineups? Or is this a sign of something more troubling, that the Lakers' new big 3 hasn't actually spent any meaningful time together on the court? Compare this to what we saw in Boston when the Celtics made their moves to build around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, bringing in Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. Those guys were on the court together immediately. They were building chemistry from day 1 of training camp. They understood that in today's NBA, where switch-heavy defenses and complex offensive systems rule the day, you need reps together. You need to understand each other's tendencies, learn how to play off of each other, figure out the timing and spacing to make modern offense work. And the Lakers so far don't have that. Ayton hasn't practiced with LeBron or Luca. And honestly, based on what we're hearing about LeBron's mindset, which we'll get to, there's a real question about when or if they'll ever develop that chemistry this season. Now let's talk about the injury that's dominating headlines, because LeBron James is out 3 to 4 weeks with sciatica. According to Shams,
this injury for LeBron first occurred in late July, early August during an on-court workout. I'm told LeBron James had not done much basketball for well over a month prior to that. So for him to be out to start the season and miss his first ever opening night, it shows an admission that he needs more time to ramp up, get into basketball shape, get into the right basketball conditioning. He's not there yet.
For those of you guys who don't know, sciatica is nerve pain that radiates from your lower back down through your legs. It's caused by compression or irritation of the sciatic nerve, and it's brutally painful. We're talking about a shooting pain that can make it difficult to walk, sit, or stand for extended periods. It's not a muscle strain that you can play through. It's not a minor tweak week that a few days of rest will fix, sciatica is serious, and for a 40-year-old basketball player, it's especially concerning. LeBron turns 41 in December. He's entering his 23rd NBA season, and while he's defied father time better than anyone in basketball history, seriously, the fact that he's averaged 25, 8, and 8 last season at age 40 is absurd. The reality is that father time is undefeated. Everyone breaks down eventually, even if it's at a much later time than the average NBA player. And sciatica, a condition that typically affects older adults and gets worse with age, might be the first real sign that LeBron's body is finally starting to give out. The timing couldn't be worse for the Lakers. They brought in Luca Donāić in a blockbuster move that was supposed to create the most dynamic duo in basketball. A perennial MVP candidate who hasn't even hit his prime yet, which is scary to think about, is teaming up with a still elite LeBron James for what everyone assumed would be an instant championship contender. The Western Conference was supposed to tremble at the thought of LeBron and Luca running pick and rolls together, or switching off running the pick and roll, in addition to the court vision and basketball IQ that those two possess being combined on the same team. Instead, before they had a full offseason to work on their game together, for us to really see what LeBron and Luca could do together this year, LeBron's on the shelf. And Luca, well, his reaction to the injury has been telling. According to multiple reporters, when Luca heard about LeBron's injury and the 3 to 4 week timeline, his immediate response was about the team's mindset moving forward. And this was his reaction.
It's a big change. He's a great player. He's going to help us a lot. But at the end of the day, our mentality needs to be next man up.
But here's where the story goes from concerning to absolutely ridiculous. Dave McMenamin, who's covered LeBron and the Lakers for years and has solid sources within the organization, dropped a quote that should have every Lakers fan losing their minds. According to McMenamin, LeBron is expected to monitor the Lakers situation while he's out with sciatica. The quote continues that LeBron's going to be watching while he's out. If they are struggling, that could lead to the next step. When Rich Paul said that LeBron James will be watching the Lakers every move, and the priority is to win. If they are not winning, maybe LeBron might have to go elsewhere. So let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. LeBron James, the guy who's orchestrated his return to LA, who's making over $50 million this season, is going to sit on the sideline and judge whether this team is competitive enough while he's out. And if they struggle without him, that might lead to the next step, which means LeBron could demand a trade or force his way out. This is insane on multiple levels. First of all, what does LeBron expect to happen when the Lakers lose one of their best players for a month, when he's taking up a significant chunk of the salary cap? Even the best teams in the league would struggle without their star. When Giannis missed time last year, the Bucks struggled. When Jokic was out, the Nuggets weren't the same. When Steph Curry went down, the Warriors looked lost. This is normal. This is how the NBA works. But more importantly, this quote reveals something troubling about LeBron's mentality right now. He's not approaching this as, our team needs to find a way to stay competitive while I rehab and get healthy. He's approaching this as, I'm going to evaluate whether this team is worth my time. That's not leadership. That's not championship mentality. That's LeBron treating the Lakers like an Airbnb that he can check out of whenever the accommodations don't meet his standards. And here's what makes this even more frustrating for Lakers fans. LeBron is the main reason why this roster has limitations. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. I know that this is a common joke on this YouTube channel. Hell, I've had people bump into me at the gym and talk to me about how often I bring this topic up every time I make content on LeBron. And I am very passionate about this topic. But during the summer of 2024, there was talk, legitimate talk, about LeBron taking a pay cut to help the Lakers improve the roster. LeBron himself said he'd be willing to take less money if it meant bringing in another star player. Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office were reportedly working on scenarios where LeBron would reduce his salary by $10 to $15 million, which would have given the Lakers enough flexibility under the luxury tax to make another significant move. But when it came time to sign the contract, guess what? LeBron still took the max. He signed a contract for $48.7 million last season with a player option for this year worth over $50 million, which he opted into. Now, I'm not saying LeBron doesn't deserve to get paid. He's one of the greatest players in basketball history. Some people think he's the greatest player of all time. I'm not going to get into that. He's earned every dollar that he's made in his career, but you can't have it both ways. You can't one offseason say, hey, I'll take a pay cut to help the team, and then the very next offseason, when your team actually has a legitimate chance to win a championship, decide to opt into your player option, take the maximum amount of money, and limit your team's ability to bring in high-end role players as a result, especially when you're worth over $1 billion and the money doesn't really matter to you at that point. The Lakers are now hard capped because of LeBron's contract. They basically have no flexibility to make moves during the season. They can't take on salary and trades. They can't sign impact free agents. They're stuck with this roster, for better or worse, largely because LeBron chose to maximize his own earnings over team flexibility. And you know what? If LeBron had taken that pay cut, if he'd actually followed through on what he said this summer, the Lakers might have had enough money to bring in a 3-and-D wing or add more depth behind DeAndre Ayton. Instead, they're running a rotation that features Austin Reeves as their third best player and banking on the hopes that Dalton Connect or Jake LaRavia could give them the help that they need off the bench. So now, when Dave McMenamin reports that LeBron is going to monitor the team and potentially look elsewhere if they're not competitive enough, all I can think of is LeBron is the guy that created this situation. You chose a max contract over team flexibility. You chose individual earnings over roster construction. And now you're going to judge the roster you helped create? As the saying goes, you made your own bed, now you have to sleep in it. And here's the other uncomfortable truth that Laker fans need to hear. LeBron's sciatica injury completely rationalized why the Lakers were unwilling to give him a long-term contract extension. There were rumors throughout the offseason that LeBron wanted a 3-year extension. He wanted the security of being under contract through his age 43 season. And from LeBron's perspective, I get it. He wants to finish his career on his terms. He wants the financial security, and he probably wants to play long enough that his sons could potentially join him in the NBA. Though Bronny's already on the roster and struggling to get minutes, and he has recently admitted that he's not waiting for Bryce.
I'm not sitting here. No, I'm not waiting on Bryce.
But the Lakers said no. They gave LeBron that 1-year extension with a player option, which means following this season, LeBron is going to be a free agent. And honestly, given what we're seeing right now, that was the right call by Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office. LeBron is 40 years old. He's dealing with sciatica, which is a condition that doesn't just go away. It's something that can linger, that can flare up repeatedly, that can limit mobility and explosiveness even after the initial pain subsides. This isn't a sprained ankle or a sore knee. This is a nerve condition that typically affects people as they age, and it's not something you just play through. Look at what happened to other stars who dealt with back and nerve issues later in their careers. Dwayne Wade battled knee and back problems in his final years and was a shell of himself by the time he retired at 37. Dirk Nowitzki had chronic back issues in his late 30s that severely limited his mobility. Kobe Bryant's body broke down completely in his final seasons, and while his Achilles injury was his most dramatic moment, it was the accumulation of years of wear and tear that made his decline so steep. Now, LeBron has avoided that fate longer than anyone thought was possible, but sciatica might be the beginning of the end. And if the Lakers had committed to him on a 3-year, $150 million extension, they'd be looking at potentially having an aging, frequently injured superstar eating up a third of their salary cap while unable to stay on the court. By keeping LeBron on a shorter deal, the Lakers have preserved their flexibility. If LeBron bounces back from this injury and plays at an all-NBA level, great. He can either leave the Lakers next year for a team that will be willing to pay him the amount that he wants, or he can sign another one of those shorter term contracts, and everyone would be happy. But if this sciatica becomes a recurring issue, if LeBron's body continues to break down, if he's missing 20 to 30 games a season moving forward, then the Lakers can move on after this year without being saddled with an immovable contract. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about all this? I know it's a lot of information, some a little bit goofier than the others. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.